Gamma Phi chapter was founded as the 86th College chapter on Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated on April 15th, 1948. But the historical context and link between Alpha and Tuskegee goes back to even before the fraternity was founded, with Sir Jules Vertner Whitson Tandy being a student at Tuskegee until being advised by Booker T. Washington that if he was really serious about becoming an architect, then he needed to make his way to Ithaca, New York and study at Cornell University. We've had very significant brothers who've been made at Gamma Phi, who've made a significant impact in the community and in life in general. Brothers like Charter Brother Booker T. Felder, who came through in 1948 and was a staple of the community for decades and decades, is the go-to person for paraphernalia for decades of or generations of Tuskegee students until he just recently passed a few years ago. The brothers like Milton C. Davis, who came through Gamma Phi in 1968 and ended up being central legal counsel in the historic Scottsboro Boys case, and ended up eventually becoming the general president of our fraternity. And brothers like Keenan Ivory Wayans, who came through in spring of 1978 and was the person who actually launched the careers of Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, and Jennifer Lopez. Brothers like Dave Wilson, Dr. Dave Wilson, who serves currently as the president of Morgan State University. There's also been a sense of destiny in some ways concerning brothers and Alpha at Tuskegee. Brothers like Kennedy Oates, who was born the seventh child in 1967, on the seventh day of the month, by the way, pledged Alpha in 1987 and was number 7 on the line. Or brothers like Ricardo Mojas, who was number 11 in 2011 on a line of 25. That was a line that brought Tuskegee back to the yard after after about a 6-year hiatus. We continue to have a rich, interesting correlative with even current chapter president going into next year. Chris Waters, who's actually the nephew of John Gay, number 588 FTD, the Golden Masters of the Mystic Odyssey. And there have been wonderful lines, speaking of lines, like 20 Carats of Gold in 77, the Rulers of the Black Amulet in 82, the Guardians of the Golden Sphinx in 87, my line, the Black Pharaohs of the Nubian Legacy in 92, and even our most recent line, Legion, that just crossed this past spring, 2019. There have been brothers who have played an intricate role in Gamma Phi through their presence in the community as well as on the university. During my time there, not only was the president of the university in Alpha, but also the director of public relations, J.J. Johnson, the band director, Brother Duncan, the choir director, Stephen Hayes, the dean of the chapel, Dr. Edward Wheeler. And we certainly cannot forget Brother Dr. Danny T. Williams, the university archivist. To this day, I will not be anywhere found without a pen, because shortly after crossing and asking him for a pen, Brother Williams said, an Alpha man always has a pen on him. And to this day, I won't be found without one. We have brothers even in our current time at Tuskegee, presently. The single student who is a member of the Tuskegee University Board of Trustees, Amos Landrum, is a brother who came through our chapter and is an Alpha. But there have also been many wonderful brothers who didn't pledge at Tuskegee but transferred to Tuskegee that have made incredibly meaningful contributions. Brothers like Clifford Bailey, who is the person responsible for the Stompathon that lasts for 30 years until 1993 when the chapter was kicked off the yard so that the university could actually gain control of the homecoming step show because of the amount of income that it generated. And And brothers like Terrence Ashanta-Barker, who was during his time at Tuskegee founded the Gamma Phi Reunion, and in more recent years, the Gamma Phi Alumni Summer Retreat. We've had a rich history of brothers who've done and continue to do wonderful and amazing things. We've had wonderful programs and different things that no doubt are part of those wonderful, fond memories that we gathered during our college days, whether it was the Mr. Magic program or carrying that heavy load on the death march through the alley or through the valley, or participating in a variety of community service programs, whether it's the Meal Mates program at the VA hospital or teaching elementary young students to read or tutoring older students at the high school. We've had a rich tapestry of experience, wonderful brothers who've graced our chapter, and I'm sure that we're going to continue to do wonderful things as we go forward. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity, and I hope that everyone at the reunion is truly enjoying themselves.